Former Trump campaign advisor George Papadopoulos reported to jail today. He's serving a 14-day sentence. Supposedly, that sentence is necessary so that Robert Mueller can protect the rest of us and American democracy itself from the mortal threat of Russian operatives hiding in the bushes. Is there a single person in the United States of America who believes that? And if they don't believe that, if they know it's a lie, because obviously it is, what is the point of putting George Papadopoulos behind bars, or any of these people? Many are being financially ruined, their lives destroyed by the Mueller investigation. Is it achieving anything? Is it part of a partisan vendetta? What is the point? Simona Papadopoulos is George Papadopoulos' wife. She's been a tireless advocate on his behalf. She joins us tonight. First, of course, our sympathies to you that your husband is now behind bars. I just want to make sure we're absolutely clear on this. Is there evidence that he worked for the Russian government to subvert our democracy?
Hi, Tucker. Thanks for inviting me. I'm tonight. I feel a lot of emotions. Mostly I feel defeated and scared. Scared not only for the 14 days of jail time, but mostly because something alike is completely groundless and based on inexistent contacts with Russian officials. I always stress, and I've been very vocal about the possibility for George to draw his plea agreement. He walked today and to the jail with a lot of courage and resilience. But at the same time, I feel this decision very unfair. I'm not talking about the decision of the judge, but all the incriminating process fabricated by Mueller. This is clearly a fabrication. We know today many evidences came out recently about his zero level of involvement in the Russia collusion scheme. So I don't understand, honestly, how misremembering the date of the meeting with the Maltese professor and not as some channel said his Russian contacts could lead today to this jail in Wisconsin, where I walked him in a very stressful way. I feel honestly defeated. This is the democracy as a whole is undermined. I think this should never happen to any citizen, any American, any human being involved and destroyed, assassinated in this way, because today there is this stigma on the George's reputation as for being a traitor. He never betrayed anyone. He simply didn't deliver the information that Mueller was probably trying to extort from him. I'm sorry if I'm very straight talking about this point, but this is my strong belief. It looks to me an awkward situation that created, put it on hold, his life and also my life. I married George during this, you know, and I profoundly believed in him, and I'm a personal witness of the case. I know Joseph Mifsud is no Russian agent. I know this man since 5 years, and I can't understand how the meeting with this Maltese professor could lead to the crossfire hurricane first and then to George incarceration today.
Well, he volunteered to help the Trump campaign. That may have been his real crime. We should care if an innocent man goes to jail, even for 2 weeks, and nobody cares, and we should care.
Exactly.
Simona, thank you very much.
Completely.
I know that you care. Of course, it's your husband. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Victor Davis Hanson is a senior fellow at the Hoover Institution. He joins us tonight. So without getting, Dr. Hanson, thank you very much for coming on tonight. There are so many details and threads in this story, but I keep wanting to come back to the core allegation, which is that American citizens colluded with the foreign government to rig the election. Is there any evidence of that? And if there isn't, then why are so many people seeing their lives destroyed?
Well, there isn't in the terms of the Russian collusion mythology. I mean, 18 months ago and $25 or $30 million ago, if you had said we came up with Carter Page as a possible suspect, he hasn't been indicted, or Mr. Papadopoulos, or now we're going after Jerome Corsi and Roger Stone because they might have been playing fast and loose with the truth. That's like saying P.J. Barnum exaggerated. If that's what this whole thing was about, it's become, I could call it a circus, but it's a tragic circus. And what you get the impression, Tucker, is that what you cannot get in quality indictments, you're trying to justify with a quantity of indictments. Right. They're indicting everybody. And remember that this thing didn't start off well, Tucker. What starts off badly ends up worse. This whole idea of the special counsel came because James Comey had leaked confidential, maybe classified documents. That prompted his friend, Rod Rosenstein, who was very much involved in a FISA warrant that was not truly candid, to surveil Carter Page, and then their mutual friend, Robert Mueller, was selected, and then he also almost immediately picked a number of partisans, and remember the media gushed and called them the Dream Team, the All-Stars, the Army. Two of them had given funds to had defended Hillary Clinton associated clients, and we know what Mr. Strzok and Miss Page did. And out of that nexus, we were told that they were going to find people who had tampered with the election. And the final irony is that of all of these misdemeanors that he's trying all over the world to collate, there were felonies right under his nose. Because Christopher Steele was a foreign national, and he could be indicted very easily, and he could be extradited. Unlike the Russians, we know that a presidential candidate hired through a firewall, GPS, Christopher Steele to find dirt on her opponent, and he did so, and he used Russian sources, which were also foreign nationals. And then they used the auspices of the federal government, the CIA, the FBI, and the State Department, to seed those unproven allegations into an election-era climate. And they also, as we know, used that dossier to mislead a FISA judge without telling them about its genesis. And out of all that, we don't get anything. I think, in conclusion, President Trump should just declassify these documents that have been requested by the congressional committees, stop the redaction, and then give a speech and say, I want to restore the sanctity of the special counsel. I want to get a nonpartisan attorney, and I want to give him about 90 days to find out whether there was one thing, collusion. And if he can't, no problem. But if he can, we'll see where it goes. And I think Christopher Steele has a lot of legal exposure.
And certainly start by declassifying this stuff so the rest of us can make a judgment, which I think we deserve at this point. Professor, thank you very much.
I think it would be wise to do so, and it would be the ethical thing to do as well.
I agree with that completely. Thanks.